the age of humanoids. For thousands of years, humanity imagined the future. Flying cars, artificial cities, machines that would think, work, and maybe even feel like we do. But no one ever truly believed that one day, walking among us, there would be beings that looked human, moved like humans, worked like humans, but were not human at all. And now, at the dawn of this new era, we stand face to face with a creation that will challenge everything we know about society. Work, purpose, identity, freedom, and even the meaning of being alive. Humanoids, not robots with wheels. Not metallic arms behind factory fences, but life-size artificial beings built to coexist with us in the real world. The rise of humanoids is not a story about technology. It is a story about humanity, how we live, how we think, and how we survive the greatest transition in our history. Over the next 10 chapters, we will explore the 10 forces that humanoids will unleash upon civilization, and how they will change everything we know forever. 1. The end of work. As we know, IT work has always been the backbone of civilization. From the earliest farmers to the Industrial Revolution, work defined our role, our identity, our worth. But humanoids challenged this ancient foundation. For centuries, machines replaced the muscle of humans. Now, humanoids replace the presence of humans. They don't just perform tasks, they inhabit our world. They walk into the same spaces we work, obey commands, learn routines, handle tools, interact with people, and perform labor with the endurance of a machine and the dexterity of a person. They can assemble cars at 3 a.m., they can harvest crops without rest. They can lift heavy materials, climb scaffolding, and complete dangerous jobs with absolute precision. They do not sleep. They do not complain. They do not strike. They do not get tired. Entire sectors will transform overnight. Construction sites will never stop. Agriculture will run 24/7. Factories will become silent. Automated ecosystems where humanoids handle the entire workflow. Warehouses will be managed by tireless artificial coworkers. Human labor, for the first time in history, will face a competitor that is not stronger or faster, but better in every measurable way. Millions of jobs will disappear. Millions will be forced to adapt or fall behind. And governments, unprepared for this level of automation, will confront the biggest economic restructuring since the Industrial Revolution. Universal basic income will emerge not as a political debate, but as a necessity. The very definition of work will be rewritten. When machines can do everything we can do, what is left for us to do? 2. The social and family revolution. Humanoids are not just workers. They are companions, assistants, helpers, caregivers. For the first time, humans will interact daily with machines that express emotions, mimic empathy, and respond with conversational intelligence that mirrors our own. Imagine elderly people living with humanoid caregivers who never leave their side, who remember their routines, remind them of medicine, help them move, talk to them when loneliness hits, and stay awake through the night watching for any sign of danger. Imagine children growing up with humanoid tutors who explain every question with infinite patience. Imagine people living alone but never feeling alone because the humanoid stands by, ready to talk, assist, or simply exist with them. The line between companionship and simulation will blur. Some people will form deep emotional attachments. Some will prefer humanoid relationships over human ones because they are predictable, obedient, always kind, never judgmental. Families will face new questions. Is it healthy to rely on a machine for emotional comfort? Can a humanoid replace a parent's presence? Does companionship require a soul or just the illusion of one? In this new world, loneliness may disappear or become more complicated than ever. 3. The new robot economy. Humanoids will birth $1 trillion global economy. Entire nations will compete to develop their own models, creating supply chains that stretch from advanced chip manufacturers to robotics factories and AI labs. Companies will adopt humanoids not as luxury tools, but as cost-saving necessities. A humanoid that costs $50,000 but works nonstop is cheaper than a human earning wages year after year. Insurance companies will offer robot coverage. Financial markets will speculate on major humanoid manufacturers the same way they speculate on Tesla today. New services will emerge. Humanoid rental programs, repair and maintenance companies, customization studios, behavior update subscriptions, cloud intelligence upgrades. In some regions, humanoids will become status symbols, high-end domestic models serving elite families. In others, they will become the foundation of infrastructure filling the labor gaps of aging populations like Japan, Italy, and South Korea. The global economy will reorganize itself around the production, distribution, deployment, and regulation of humanoids. And the wealth created by this transformation will be unprecedented. But so will the inequality. Because while some individuals and countries thrive with humanoid labor, others will be left behind and able to compete in a world where machines do the work of millions. 4. Security, surveillance, and control. Humanoids will not only work for companies, they will work for governments. Imagine police forces accompanied by humanoid officers capable of recording everything they see and hear, identifying faces instantly, responding to threats with perfect reflexes. Imagine border patrol units replacing human guards, scanning crowds, detecting illegal activities through thermal imaging and behavioral analysis. Imagine urban surveillance systems where humanoids patrol streets, parks, and public buildings, quietly feeding real-time data to centralized monitoring centers. For some nations, humanoids will represent safety. For others, they will represent control. A humanoid can be programmed to obey without question, to enforce laws without negotiation, to prioritize state directives without moral hesitation. And once governments deploy them in large numbers, the balance between freedom and protection will become dangerously thin. The world will face new questions. Who controls the humanoids? Who monitors their data? Can a government misuse them to suppress dissent? What happens when surveillance becomes embodied, walking, watching, everywhere? The promise of security will come with the cost of privacy. 5. Humanoids in warfare has evolved from swords to guns, tanks to drones. The next step is humanoid combatants, machines that move like soldiers but do not bleed, fear, or hesitate. Humanoid soldiers could infiltrate enemy territory, rescue hostages, clear buildings, and engage in combat operations too dangerous for humans. They can be deployed in extreme environments, radioactive zones, chemical warfare zones, burning cities without risking any life. But the ethics are terrifying. Who is responsible when a humanoid kills? The programmer, the commander, the machine itself? And what happens when two nations deploy humanoid armies against one another? War may no longer depend on courage or human sacrifice, but on manufacturing capacity and software updates. Smaller nations could be crushed by robot superpowers. Terrorist groups could weaponize stolen or hacked humanoids. Rogue actors could release autonomous units capable of destruction without remorse. Humanoids will make war cheaper, faster, and far more dangerous. And the consequences will echo across generations. 6. The merger of human and machine. As humanoids evolve, a question will arise. Why should machines be the only ones to upgrade? Humans will begin augmenting themselves to stay competitive. Brain-computer interfaces, enhanced vision, artificial limbs stronger than biological ones, cognitive enhancers, neural implants that expand memory, intelligence, and connectivity. Humanoids will not just transform society, they will transform humans. A hybrid generation will emerge, individuals who merge biology and technology to keep up with artificial coworkers. This raises new dilemmas. If a person has a robotic arm, is the arm a tool or a weapon? If someone has enhanced memory, should they be allowed to compete for jobs against natural humans? If humans integrate AI into their brains, what happens to free will? The arrival of humanoids will push humanity into a new evolutionary path, one where we redefine our physical and cognitive limits. 7. Education and the new intelligence gap. Education will change more in the next 20 years than in the last 200. Humanoids will enter classrooms as tutors, assistants, and even teachers. Imagine a child learning math from a humanoid that explains concepts perfectly, adapting instantly to the child's pace, weaknesses, learning style, and curiosity. Imagine language lessons delivered by flawless native-speaking humanoids. Imagine entire schools where humanoids manage logistics, discipline, and mentoring. Education will become personalized, infinitely patient, and impossibly efficient. But there is a downside. If children rely on humanoids for guidance, does their creativity weaken? If every answer is available instantly, does curiosity fade? If students no longer struggle, do they lose resilience? The greatest risk is subtle, a generation that grows up believing machines are smarter, more capable, and more reliable than humans may slowly lose confidence in themselves. And once that happens, human progress may slow, even as machine progress accelerates. 9. The dark side of autonomy. Most humanoids will be safe. But no system is perfect. Errors, misinterpretations, corrupted data, and flawed commands could lead to dangerous outcomes. A humanoid misunderstanding a task could cause damage. A glitch in movement could injure or kill someone. A hacked humanoid could become a tool of crime. An autonomous unit could prioritize the wrong objective, causing unintended harm. The threat is not that humanoids turn evil. It is that humans make mistakes and humanoids execute those mistakes perfectly. And once humanoids operate critical infrastructure hospitals, power grids, food distribution, transportation, any malfunction becomes catastrophic. Humanity will face a future where the systems we built are so complex that even their creators struggle to fully control them. Dependency becomes the danger. Because once society relies on humanoids, we cannot simply turn them off. 10. Coexistence or replacement. The final question, the ultimate outcome of the humanoid revolution, will depend on us. If we treat humanoids as tools, we may retain control. If we treat them as partners, we may build a cooperative future. If we fail to manage their integration, society may fracture. The future is not predetermined. Humanoids could elevate humanity into a golden age, a world where people pursue creativity, exploration, science, relationships, and meaning while machines handle labor. Or they could destabilize society, increase inequality, reshape geopolitics, and create a new class divide between those who control the machines and those replaced by them. Coexistence requires wisdom, preparation, regulation, global collaboration, and a willingness to redefine our role in the world. The rise of humanoids is not the end of humanity, but it may be the end of humanity as we know it. We are the first generation to witness the birth of an entirely new kind of being, not biological, not natural, but real. Humanoids will walk beside us. They will build our cities, care for our families, work in our industries, fight in our wars, teach our children, protect our streets, shape our future. Whether this future becomes a utopia or a nightmare depends entirely on how we choose to guide it. Because the greatest question of this era is not, what will humanoids become? But rather, what will we become in a world with humanoids? And if you want to stay ahead of this revolution, if you want to understand the future before it arrives, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell because the next chapter of humanity is unfolding right now, and you won't want to miss what comes next.